What's the word, you two? I'm your host, Quillysantana, and you're watching the Brains of Sports. Welcome back to the TBOS podcast. I'm your host of Brains, aka Quillysantana. Now listen, we got my top 10 coaching candidates for the NFL 2026 season going into next year. Because it's a lot of vacancies, especially with Mike Tomlin didn't step down, aka gets fired. They fired John Harbaugh. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people getting fired. Like, I'm surprised Matt LaFleur kept his job, but Matt LaFleur's a good coach, but I don't know. Nick Sirianni, you know the Eagles like to fire coaches quickly. You know they want a Super Bowl. They did the same shit with Doug. But yeah, man, we finna get straight into it. I ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's get right into it. Let me get y'all over here one quick second. Bam. As you can see, man, the Brains top 10 coaching candidates. These my top 10 coaching candidates. So let me get my right to my notes. All right, yeah. You know what I'm saying? These my 10 coaching candidates. Let me know if y'all agree. So simple as that. Now, our first coach at number 10 is Jeff Hafley. Jeff Hafley is the Packers defensive coordinator. He coaches mostly up in the box from what I've seen when I watch Packers games. He coaches up in the box, but this has been one of the best defenses in the NFL these last couple years. They were top 5 this year with Parsons. They were top 5 last year without Parsons. They were a top 5 defense last year, and they were a top 5 defense this year. So this is a really good, really well coached unit. They run a lot of zone. You know what I'm saying? This is a really good defensive unit, and I feel like Jeff should get an opportunity to be able to coach, especially when you coach a top 5 unit for consecutive years. I feel like that really means something because a lot of guys is getting hired off of, they got connections in the building, or you know what I'm saying, they quote unquote got potential. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what he's gonna be like as a head coach because he's a coordinator. So, but he's led two top 5 offenses back to back years. I feel like my boy Jeff, should be able to get a coaching opportunity when you go out and you have a well-run unit, as the Green Bay Packers do with their defense. Then I think you should get looked at for coaching jobs. Let's get to number 9. The man, the myth, the legend, John Harbaugh. Now listen, I know this might seem a little low for John because he number 9, but with these older with these older coaches, you don't never know what they're gonna get. Because for one, let's start here. John doesn't call plays. John is more of a program builder. John is more of a, you know what I'm saying, locker room builder, you know what I'm saying, culture setter. He doesn't call plays on offense. He doesn't call plays on defense. And right now, John, his track record is not really good right now. These last couple years, they blown more double-digit leads than anybody in the NFL. That's coaching. That has nothing to do with the play. That's coaching. Every big game they play, they look unprepared for the moment. They don't look well prepared at all. That's like every time the Raiders play the Bills, they get out coached. Every time they play the Chiefs, they get out coached. Like, they're never well prepared. You can just tell that, because that's why I tell a lot of people that coaching you can see off the screen. Like, you don't got a talent, the team having talent and a team being really good. Like, you can tell that they're really good coach is like so obvious to see. Like, it's not hard to see that at all. You can tell like a really well coached team from a team that just got a lot of talent, or both. You get what I'm saying? And every time they play the Chiefs, you can just tell, it jumps off of the screen that the Ravens are getting out coached, and that's why they get plummeled and they lose every single year to the Chiefs, or they need to play the Bills. They get out coached. Like this happens every single year. They just don't be well prepared for the moment. You know what I'm saying? They hurt themselves, getting a lot of penalties and fumbling, shooting themselves in the foot. Because the Ravens, they always have this elite talent. These last couple of years, they probably been the most talented roster in football, besides like the Eagles or something, or like them early 2029ers teams. But they got a lot of talent, but they shoot themselves in the foot. You know what I'm saying? That's come down to coaching with penalties and turning the ball over and just doing things that you should not do, that you expect elite teams not to do. They do it every single time. The Ravens do it every single time. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not really looking good for John right now, but John is a really good head coach, though. We're not going to act like my boy John ain't no good head coach. But I got him down here at 9 just because, the league is going a different direction. Is it time for John to hang it up? We don't know. So we're going to find out, though. Let's get to number 8. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my boy John, though. Mike T! Listen, Mike T just stepped down, aka got fired earlier today. Now he been with the Steelers for 19 years, never had a losing season, won one Super Bowl. But let's be honest, and I know Steelers fans, I know y'all happy because I've been seeing y'all want Mike Tomlin to go on for a minute. I know y'all happy because we gotta be honest with ourselves. Like, I ain't gonna lie, this had to, like, when I was watching that game last night, watching them get it flat out embarrassed. In my mind, at the end of the game, I was thinking, before I cut that bullshit off, before I cut that motherfucker, all that ass, all that shit was ass. I go like all that Ben Simmons. Before I cut that Ben Simmons off, listen, I was thinking to myself like, I'm not gonna lie, I think Mike should get fired, and it's just because like you keep saying we ain't never had a losing season, but like, what do that really mean though? Like, what the fuck is the difference between going 8-9 and 9-8? Like, there's no difference at all. There's no difference between going like you going 9-8 every year or some shit. You see what I'm saying? It's not really a difference. Or you going, it used to be like, you know what I'm saying, 8-8. Use 5. Like, it's not really a difference from going 9-8 and 8-9. It's not. Like, you going 9-8, it's not. You're not even helping the team. We like Steelers fans. Like, I really started to understand y'all last night because you talking about we never had a losing season and we going 9-8 and missing the playoffs, but that's not helping us because then we picking in the middle of the draft. We might as well lose a couple more games and then get a high draft pick next year. Go into the draft, get a high draft pick. That's gonna actually help the team instead of us drafting in the middle of the round every year and all the blue chip talent go at the top of the draft. You know what I'm saying? Now it is, great finds at the end of the draft, second round, third round, fourth round. You get what I'm saying? But we might as well lose. What the fuck is we winning for? Because we're not gonna. Then when we get to the playoffs, we can't win a playoff game. So it's like we having not these fake winning seasons for these ain't even winning seasons because it ain't like we overly good. We barely good. And like we one game above 500. Like it's not really that impressive for real. Like let's be honest. Or we a 500 team. Like it's not considered a losing season, but because we're not under 500. But like that shit weak. Come on. So like at that point I was like, yeah, what the fuck is like a 500? Like that never no losing season shit don't really even matter. Like because it's not getting you nowhere. But I think Mike T, like saying he's just like John Harbaugh. You know what I'm saying? A real culture setter, a real program builder. A lot of guys love Mike Tomlin. They play hard for Mike Tomlin too. So I think Mike T can get a job somewhere. I don't know if he want to coach. 19 straight seasons. He might want to just take a year off. But I got Mike T at number 8. Let's get to number 7 though. You know what I'm saying? Shout out my boy Tomlin, man. Joe Brady. Joe Brady from the Buffalo Bills. Joe has had a top 10 run game every year. In 2023, they had the 7th best rushing attack. Last year they had the 9th best rushing attack, and then this year they have the 1st best rushing attack, almost running for 160 yards a game. You see what I'm saying? So I think Joe Brady should get a look. You get what I'm saying? As a head coach, as the OC of the Bills. Especially what he's able to do and draw plays with his lack of receivers this year. Even last year, they really didn't have any receivers last year. And I mean, Josh Allen as your quarterback helps, but shit, I still got to draw plays. Like, yeah, I still got to draw plays for it, and being able to adjust to that and go into a different direction with a bunch, like going into a lot of 12 personnel, 13 personnel, getting tight ends, getting a lot of the tight ends involved, and just being able to work around that is a really good job. And then you having a elite offensive group mainly every year, and you probably say like, oh, that's due to Josh Allen, but I mean, this is what happens when most of the time. This is what happens when you get a good OC with a good QB. Offense to go is gets the rolling. So I think Joe Brady should get a head coaching opportunity also as well. That's number what it is. 7. We on the number 6. This one gonna be controversial. I'm not gonna lie. Terry Stefanski. Kevin, I hate Shador Stefanski. Listen, Kevin, I hate Shador Stefanski. Kevin Dylan Gabriel is my son Stefanski. Listen, I understand. I understand, folks. Kevin, if I catch Shador outside, I'm beating his ass, Stefanski. I understand the hate. And I said he should get fired. I'm one of the ones who was advocating for Kevin to get fired. But I'm not going to sit here and act like Kevin is not a good coach to a certain degree. Like, that's why it was blowing me to what he was doing in Cleveland. Like, I felt like he didn't like Shador or something. Or like he didn't like none of the situation that was going on or something. Like, because Kevin, I fuck with Kevin. Kevin's a really good coach. But I don't know what the fuck he was doing this year at all. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what he was doing. But we're not gonna act like Kevin not a 2-time coach of the year. We're not gonna act like Kevin haven't took this same Cleveland Browns team to the playoff multiple times. They even made the playoffs with Joe Joe Flacco. You know what I'm saying? They went to he won a playoff game with Baker Mayfield. Somehow they let Baker Mayfield walk at the door, but he won a playoff game with Baker Mayfield. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't won a playoff game. Like, coach of the year 2 times. Like, Kevin can call plays, you know what I'm saying? That's why this whole year was weird. Like, I didn't know what was going on in Cleveland. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that was a whole debacle that just was out of hand. But Kevin is a really good coach, you know what I'm saying? You would want to hire Kevin Stefanski because Kevin Stefanski is a good play caller, and he can call plays. He's an offensive-minded coach, especially if you got a young quarterback and you trying to get your quarterback, you know what I'm saying, going. Guy, when you have a young quarterback, you want to get an OC in there. You want to get an OC in there. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to just because when you bring in a defensive guy, now they got to go find the OC. You see what I'm saying? So if you bring in an OC, it's more easier. Because then if you bring a defensive guy in, just like we just talked about Joe Brady, then your OC can end up leaving. Because Sean McDermott is a defensive coach. So now he bring in Brian Daboll. Look what happened. Brian Daboll ended up getting a Giants job. So the same thing. Now Joe Brady could probably end up getting interviewed for a job. Who knows where he can go? He can go to Pittsburgh and be the coach there. So it just is what it is. But you want to be able to bring in a coach that can give your young quarterback stability. So I don't know what happened last year though. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I think he just didn't like Shador. I don't know. It was pure sabotage by Kevin the Terry Stefanski. But shout out my boy Kevin though. I think Kevin should get a job though. We're going to number 5. Going to the top 5, my top 5 coaching candidates. The Chargers defense coordinator Jesse Minter. Man, listen. That Chargers defense was off the chain this year. I think a lot of people don't understand how good that Chargers defense was just because they probably didn't watch Chargers games, but they was 5th in yards, total yards this year. They was 9th in points per game. When they went and got Odafe from at the deadline, or like couple weeks before the deadline, like week 6, I remember this because it came on my phone notification. Huge. Because that turned that defense up even more. Because that pass rush got even more crazy. And then they used to have him. They used to have Odafe, 45, Mac. And I'm saying 45 because I can't pronounce his name, so I don't want to pronounce his name wrong. But when they had those guys out there, it got critical with those 3 pass rushers out there. That defense was off the chain this year. I ain't gonna lie. And I think Jesse probably gonna get a job. Like Jesse probably gonna get a job off this because that's one thing for sure. Two things for certain. If you can call defensive plays, you bound to get a job. You really is bound to get a job. Like you can have one good year of offense. Like it's easier getting a head coach job if you go OC than a defensive coordinator. But when you put out a really good unit, like we seen them play in the playoffs. We just seen them play the Patriots. That's the second best offense in the NFL, second best scoring team in the NFL. They only had 16 points, and they was all over them. So that performance alone will probably a lot of GMs and owners or whatever, they're gonna look at that tape and look at the tape from all throughout the year and be like, okay, we might want to bring Jesse on. He come from up under Harbaugh, so you know what I'm saying. You might get a little Harbaugh. That's what a lot of teams gonna be thinking. Like this could be a really good coach. Jesse probably gonna be one of them ones if he get opportunity. Let's get to number 4. Let's get to number 4. Mike McDaniel. And I know a lot of people don't like Mike. I'm not gonna lie. I know a lot of people don't like Mike, but Mike's a smooth dude. I feel like listen. When they had the number 1 offense in the NFL, was that 2024? No, hell no. 23. 23 they had the number 1 offense. The year before that they had the number 5 offense. This was with healthy Tua. You know, so that's when they made the playoffs. This was Tua played the most of the games, but then you know the like concussion started to pile up and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Tua started getting injured and you know what I'm saying? But Mike McDaniel can call offensive plays now. This is why a lot of teams right now are trying to recruit him to be the OC. A lot of big teams, like the Lions are begging him to come be the OC. The Eagles are probably gonna go after Mike McDaniel to come be the offensive coordinator. You get what I'm saying? But Mike might take a head coaching job because he can call plays. I know. Listen, one thing for sure. One thing I do know about Mike McDaniel is he can really call plays. Like I said, he had a top 5 offense for 2 years straight. He had the 5th best offense in 2022, and he had the number 1 offense in the NFL in 2023. Mike can call plays. You get what I'm saying? So when you playing in a league that's mostly like a quarterback-driven league, if you got a young quarterback, you definitely want Mike McDaniel because Mike McDaniel can call for the plays. That's gonna really help your young quarterback, and that's what you need to help your team succeed. And if you're a team like the Lions or Philadelphia Eagles, that's y'all got Super Bowl in y'all future, like y'all thinking like, man, we supposed to be playing the playoffs right now. We supposed to be playing upcoming this week. You know what I'm saying? And our offense wasn't, you know what I'm saying, up to par, wasn't up to our liking. You definitely want to go get Mike McDaniel. That's why Mike McDaniel's a, you know what I'm saying, hot commodity on the market right now because Mike can call plays. So if you got a young QB, you better go get Mike McDaniel just because he can call plays. Now, like I said, as a head coach, he all right. If you look at, listen though, let's give it a buck. If you look at that Miami team down the stretch, they play hard for Mike McDaniel. Because when they like 1-5, hold on, let's go do our research. Because I don't do no lying. Hold on. They play hard for Mike McDaniel down the stretch. They won like 6 games in a row. They won like 6 games in a row down the stretch until they seen the best team in the NFL, the Patriots. You know what I'm saying? Until they got that belt. But yeah, they finished the year 7-10. Let me see. They was 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 1-3, 1-4, 1-5. Yeah, they was 1-5. Then they beat the Browns, beat the Falcons. Then they lost to the Ravens. Then they beat the Bills, beat the Commanders, beat the Saints, beat the Jets, beat the Steelers, lost to the Bengals, beat the Bucks, and then lost to the Patriots. But they played hard. They was 1-5. They was 1-5. So they played really hard for Mike McDaniel down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? So the players believed in Mike McDaniel. He didn't lose the locker room. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think they really should have fired him, but I don't know. I guess the owners just wanted to clean house. We want to restart this. You know, they probably gonna get off Tyreek this offseason. Tua's probably done. So I don't know, but you know what I'm saying? Let's get to number 3 though. Let's get to number 3. This is probably the best head coach. I mean, the best coach, like, Listen, this is probably the best coach really down there on the market right now. Yeah, I got him at 3, but this down there the best coach on the market right now. No funny shit. Because the job my boy Bob doing, and I know, y'all probably saying, why the fuck he called him Bob? His name Robert Saleh. Y'all know they call people that name Rob or shit like that Bob. Just like they be making like niggas named Charles, they call him Chuck. Yeah. So Robert Saleh, because I know somebody goes to say something about it. My boy Robert Saleh is what he doing with that 49ers defense is flat out amazing. They got nobody to rush the passer. Nick Bosa got hurt. He lost his best player on the team down there, Fred Warner. Lose your middle linebacker, who's the leader, the captain, the play caller, the quarterback of the defense. You playing with a bunch of rookies, a bunch of undrafted guys, and he's getting the most out of his players. This is what you call coaching. The San Francisco 49ers are putting on a coaching clinic. That right there is what you call coaching. With even though they got all these injuries, they got these young guys, rookies, 6th-round picks. They putting on a coaching clinic. Robert's going to get hired this offseason. I'm sorry, Cal. You know, I know Robert's your man. My boy Bob is not going to be on the 49ers next year at all. He won't be on this. He won't be on that staff next year. You just got him back. I know. He was coaching first. Went to the Jets. You lost him. You know what I'm saying? The defense didn't look the same. Then they fired him. You got him back. He finna be gone again because what he doing with that defense is amazing, and that's what you call, and that's how you know that it's the coaching. You know what I'm saying? You can see it, like you getting the most out of his players. The players believe in what the scheme is, what he's saying, what he preaching, how they practice. Like you can just tell. You get what I'm saying? So, like Robert gonna get a job for sure. Shout out Bob though, man. Let's get to number 2. Because Disney, he definitely should get another opportunity. Brian Flores. After being let's talk about it. After being blackballed by the NFL, you know what I'm saying? That whole scandal after ensuing the NFL, finally got to come back in the NFL and coach, and went to the Minnesota Vikings as the defensive coordinator. In the last couple of years, their defense been off the chain. Listen, one of the best defenses in the NFL for the last couple of years. This year, they was 3rd in yards, 7 points per game. I think they had like 49 sacks on the year. Like, if the Vikings, let's be honest, if the Vikings would have had better quarterback play, they would have made the playoffs. They would have made the playoffs. Because that defense was just terrorizing people, bro. And a lot of times when people play the Vikings, they don't know what the hell Brian Flores be doing. They be lost as hell. A lot of players tell you that, so that's how I let you know that he has one of the probably the best defensive scheme in the NFL right now. I'm talking about just an elite scheme. You know what I'm saying? And he's a literal psychopath because a lot of stuff he be doing, he just shouldn't do, but it worked. And that's probably why it worked, because a lot of opposing quarterbacks and offensive coordinators thinking like, it's no way in hell he gonna send the fucking linebacker that's standing on line with the rest of the 7-8 people to a deep middle third, or send Harrison Smith back into a cover 2 invert, all type of stuff he be doing. Like, it's just stuff that you would never think, like, nobody's gonna try that. No, like no one's gonna try that. So definitely Brian Flores is to me personally, he's my top candidate then, even though I don't have him at number 1. But it's the reason why I don't have him at number 1. Let's get to my number 1. Reveal my uno. Clint Kubiak. The reason I have Clint Kubiak at number 1 is just because, like I said, same thing why I have Mike McDaniel high at number 4 as far as my top 10 coaching candidates is. In this league, if you don't got an offensive coordinator, you can't go that far. And offensive coordinators hold a lot of teams back. Offensive coordinators hold a lot of teams back. And if you want to develop your young quarterback, you need an offensive coordinator. And you preferably rather have your offensive coordinator be your head coach. So that's why I have him as the number 1 candidate on my list. You know what I'm saying? On my list, he's the number 1 candidate just because if you get him in the building, you know you're not going to go nowhere because he's calling the plays. So, and then he's going to be able to develop your quarterback, or if you a team like the Ravens who already got a quarterback, he gonna be able to show out with Lamar Jackson. Like, listen, y'all see what he doing with Sam Darnold. So just imagine what he gonna be doing when he line up in 12, 13 personnel with Derrick Henry back there and one of them tight ends, and they probably gonna go get a receiver, and then they gonna have Zay Flowers and that's use that Cooper Cup, and like I can see it, I can see it. And if you like a team like the Browns or Titans, the Giants that got a young quarterback, you would want him to come in and really help your young quarterback develop into hopefully a superstar. So you know what I'm saying, and he's old and like so offensive coordinators get the edge here, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, man. I just think Clint's number one just because of the offensive edge. But that's all for this video, man. Those are my top 10 coaching candidates. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend. This is the best sports channel on earth. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe, man. Like up. Join the family, man. I want to start going live, having these conversations live. You get what I'm saying? So, man, I appreciate y'all sub up. You know what I'm saying? Like the video, check some more content out on the channel, man. We got way more content dropping. You get what I'm saying? So, brains out.